Hello, I'm the Robin Reviewer. Welcome to my channel, and I wanted to talk about Tim Drake Robin #1. I saw a lot of videos on YouTube talking about this book, really critiquing the book, and it really reminded me of something, and it really made me think back to high school English class, really, talking about The Great Gatsby. I'll get back to Robin in a minute, I promise. But I've always remembered throughout the years how The Great Gatsby begins. It's actually one of my favorite books. But if you just start reading The Great Gatsby, it begins like this. In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since. Whenever you feel like criticizing anyone, he told me, just remember that all the people in this world haven't had the advantages that you've had. And it really made me think because I can't write a comic book. I tried when I was like 13 and it wasn't very good. And I can't draw. I can barely draw a stick figure. So I don't feel like I should critique and talk about how bad this comic is and how it destroys Tim Drake and and things like that. It really made me stop and reflect on like The Great Gatsby says, my own advantages. I've been reading Robin for 3 decades. I remember going to the comic book shop and picking Robin #1 off the shelf. I got 2 copies, the regular cover and then that foil variant cover. And that foil variant cover I actually gave to a good friend of mine when he moved away. It was very special to me, and I felt like that was a good gift to him. That friend really loved comics. Kind of got me back into comics after a while. So if you want to watch a video where people are going to just critique this comic, there's tons of them out there on YouTube. I wanted to go a different direction. We'll start with the art. Is the art necessarily the style that I would like? I prefer really realistic art. Again, I can't draw a stick figure, so I'm not gonna complain. The artwork, I would call it a little bit stylized. And when I first read it, that style distracts some people, and they find it difficult to read. To me, it reminded me of one of my favorite comic book runs from the Robin series, which is Robin 126 through 128. Where Stephanie Brown is Robin. That artwork is stylized, and again, it's not necessarily the artwork that I would like, especially with Stephanie as Robin. But I can still enjoy it. It's a comic book. The medium is supposed to be a little stylized and artistic, and we're talking about a teenage superhero, so. It didn't distract that much, and I actually could get past it. A lot of people destroyed the story too. The first part I thought was maybe a little slow. Again, I'm not critiquing it. The second part, wherever he ties it to an Edgar Allan Poe story, I actually thought was pretty clever because. What I loved about this Tim Drake Robin specifically growing up is, he was always the best mix, right? He was always the best detective. He was always the best at being so smart and so good with technology and things like that. And that's what I really liked about him as I was growing up. Because as I was growing up reading Robin, in a lot of ways, that was the kind of kid I wanted to be. I wanted to be smart. I wanted to be well-read. I wanted to be, just enjoying life and just fit and just gung-ho the way Robin was. So a lot of people are going to say, don't read it, don't follow it. They're going to destroy the book, the art, the story. Again, I don't necessarily want to go that direction. I'm just going to take it for what it is. I'm one of those people that can separate the art from the artist. And just read it at face value and say, what is it? Is there a deeper agenda? Is there a deeper meaning? Is there, a lot of that stuff is lost on me, and maybe that's just because I'm not that smart. But just reading it for what it was. I haven't followed comics in several years. I stopped reading, like I said, about after the New 52. It's all right. It's okay. I'm actually thinking about going and picking up issue 2 just to see where it goes, and see what happens. Again, it was an okay story. It was a comic book. I read it, and it took me into another world for 15-20 minutes, and that's all that I wanted for a $4 comic book. So it did kind of did make me want to start talking about Robin comic books, and I think I'm going to start with Robin #1 and go through all 183 issues, talk about Red Robin after that, and then maybe we'll loop back around and talk about this in another year after we've talked about the way Robin was from 93 to 2011. But anyway, again, take it at face value. The artwork, a lot better than I could do. I'm not going to criticize it. The story, I thought it was fun. I like the way he called back to an Edgar Allan Poe story. Maybe it got a bunch of people who had never heard of Edgar Allan Poe to go out there and read that story. I'm going to probably pick up issue #2. I might talk about that, but I'm definitely going to go back and start talking about the original Robin run. But anyway, I appreciate you guys just listening and letting me rant for a little bit. Talk to you guys later. Bye.